Hello and welcome to Levant TV Headlines. The UN Security Council has demanded humanitarian access to Syria's Yarmuk Palestinian refugee camp as residents described fleeing in terror after the arrival of jihadists of the Islamic State group. 3 unidentified militants have been killed in clashes with Lebanese soldiers who launched an operation near the Syrian border early today to retake control of a hilltop. Iraqi forensic teams in the newly liberated city of Tikrit have started exhuming bodies from mass graves believed to contain some of the hundreds of soldiers killed by Islamic State militants last year. Warplanes from a Saudi-led air coalition have bombed a military base in central Yemen, controlled by Houthi fighters and their army allies, and a website of the Houthi-run defense ministry said 2 students were killed at a neighboring school. And Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif says it is not in a hurry to decide whether to join the Saudi-led coalition against rebels in Yemen before starting a round of shuttle diplomacy involving Iran and Turkey. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting from Lebanon, the Daily Star leads, reporting that the Lebanese army said it killed 3 jihadis and wounded 4 others in a border raid at dawn on a strategic hill along the border with Syria. The paper also reports that the fate of 5 Lebanese truck drivers remains unknown after jihadis released most of their fellow countrymen who were kidnapped at the Nazib crossing on the Syrian-Jordanian border. The Egypt Independent leads, reporting that the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development plans to lend Egypt $1.5 billion over the next 5 years, extending $300 million each year. The paper also reports that an association of fishermen in Suez has warned of Syracuse hot and dusty winds, which started Tuesday and are expected to extend through to next week. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads, reporting that fierce clashes raged between rebels and loyalists in southern Yemen, leaving more than 100 dead in 24 hours, as the Red Cross faced delays to urgently needed aid deliveries. The paper also reports that US President Barack Obama says he would have a tough conversation with America's Gulf Arab allies in which he would promise strong US support against external enemies, but tell them they must address internal political challenges. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from the UK papers. The Guardian leads its Middle East news, reporting that Islamist hackers seized control of the government's official air quality website to post a message criticizing Britain for its role in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Visitors to the UK Air website, part of the Department of Food, the Environment and Rural Affairs, were greeted with a black background with a large portrait of the former Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. The Telegraph leads its Middle East news, reporting that Palestinian fighters have clashed with Islamic State militants in a heavily contested Palestinian refugee camp in the Syrian capital, as a United Nations official described the situation in the embattled camp as beyond inhumane. The heavy clashes that have raged since then have added yet another layer of the misery for up to 18,000 Yarmuk residents who have already endured desperate conditions marked by a lack of basic food, medicine and water. The Independent leads its Middle East news, reporting that an Iraqi soldier survived a mass execution committed by ISIS by dropping to the floor after a bullet killed the man next to him and pretending to be dead. 23-year-old Ali Hussein Khadim was captured on 12 June with thousands of other men as they tried to flee along the main road from a military base. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines in the international papers. From Germany, the Deutsche Welle reports that excavation is underway following the discovery of mass graves in the Iraqi city of Tikrit last week, discovered by the military after retaking the city from Islamic State terrorists. The 12 suspected burial sites are thought to hold the bodies of as many as 1,700 soldiers massacred by the militants last June as they swept across northern Iraq. And finally, the Los Angeles Times leads, reporting that a top Saudi envoy appeared to give the White House support for the nuclear framework deal with Iran, apparently bringing a powerful regional ally into the fold as the White House seeks to shore up regional support. Adel Jubeir, Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the United States, said that he is optimistic the deal will be concluded to place strict limits on Iran's ability to enrich uranium and conduct other nuclear activities for at least a decade. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.